I'm Robin, and welcome to Robin Woodcraft. This is First Cut, and today we will be looking at the Bosch GKS 18V-68 GC. The 68 GC replaces the GKS 18V-57G as Bosch's top-of-the-line cordless circular saw here in the Philippines. Is it any good? Well, let's find out. What are the specifications and new features that we can find in this cordless saw? First, there's that new BiTurbo brushless motor that Bosch claims is equivalent to an 1800 watt corded unit. Now, we can't objectively test that right now, but for what it's worth, when I tested it, it feels really powerful. It's more powerful than the 1400 watt corded unit that I currently have right now. Now, to maximize the power of this unit, to hit those power levels, you need to pair the BiTurbo brushless motor with an 8 ampere hour or 12 ampere hour Procore battery. It's only the higher capacity batteries that are able to supply the current draw, the larger current draw that the new motors require. In terms of size, the saw comes in with dimensions of 228 by 405 by 288 millimeters and a weight of 4.7 to 5.5 kilograms, depending on which specific battery you decide to hook up with it. It's a bit hefty, but it's still on the manageable side, especially if you consider the power that it brings to the table.
This saw is guide rail compatible and can be used with Bosch FSM, Bevel, Festool, and Makita tracks. When used on a Bosch FSM track, the saw maintains its cutting line on the edge of the splinter guard. There is a bit of play here if you try to lift the saw up while adjusting the angle, but if you set it down and let gravity support the unit during adjustment, it does maintain that pivot point just right on the edge of your strip.
The blade angle can be adjusted by loosening this lever here on the front and by loosening this knob here on the back. The blade angle is shown by this indicator here on the front with markings at the commonly cut angles of 15, 22.5, 30, 45, and the max of 50 degrees.
The base plate is made of stiff metal and was flat as far as I could tell. But the blade zero angle wasn't set accurately coming out of the box. That, however, can be easily adjusted using the set screw right here in the bottom front of the base panel.
The blade guard is made of metal and is a two-part construction with the handle screwed in over here. I really like the action as it's very smooth, and even though it's a two-part construction, this feels just like one really solid piece. The depth of cut adjustment on this saw is also one of the major innovations that Bosch made with this new model, and it's also one of the main reasons why I decided to get this saw. So to adjust the depth of cut, all you have to do is press this single button over here. Pretty much just like a plunge saw, except that you have to lift the blade guard first, press the button, and easy as that, you can adjust the depth of cut of your saw. Pretty cool. The depth of cut gauge is visible here on the right side of the handle, just on the left of the blade guard.
The maximum cutting depth is 68 millimeters at 90 degrees and 50 millimeters at 45 degrees allowing you to cut through 2-inch lumber with depths to spare even at the maximum angle. The saw has indicated Bluetooth connectivity through an optional module, a temperature indicator, a battery level gauge, and speed and status control, all visible through this very cool light-up LED user interface. This is one of the few saws available that has a really good variable speed control over a wide speed range. The pre-programmed settings go all the way from 2,500 RPM at the lowest setting to maxing out at 5,000 RPM. This saw also features an eco mode, which runs the saw at optimum efficiency at the expense of power and speed. This mode enables up to a 30% longer runtime when you're low on juice and really need to make those last few cuts.
Another thing I've discovered about this unit is that it has a built-in electronic anti-overload or anti-kickback system in it. So if you're cutting deep in wood and you accidentally twist the blade, instead of kicking back, the electronics sense that and just stops the motor right there. The same is true if you start with the blade in contact with your workpiece. Once the blade hits that piece of wood, it just stops. It just won't let you start the cut in the first place. So it's a very nice safety feature to have. On the side of ergonomics, I think Bosch has done really well here with this guy. This front handle is really well designed. So you could grip the saw in different configurations and make your cuts in a stable and confident manner. This is opposed to the standard stumpy knob that most circular saws have. If you have that standard handle, you'll be reaching out and twisting your arm, trying to maintain a good grip on that. It's either that or you hold it by the motor. I used to do that with my other saw. And you block the motor's air vents, which is not good either. So this handle is a very simple but very effective upgrade. It's a wonder why not all circular saws have it. I really like the dust extraction on this thing. For starters, the dust ejection port, it's made of plastic but it feels really sturdy and stiff. I like that. And it can swivel. So you could direct the dust away from you, or you could position the hose where it is most convenient for your current action. So I really like that. Not only that, but aside from the port, the whole dust extraction system feels really effective. As you can see here, most of the dust is actually blown out through the back. And this is without any vacuum hose attached to it. I got the bare toolkit for this saw, and it comes with its own L box, which has styro inserts, so you can place your saw securely during transport. It has two slots wherein you can put the batteries in, which you should be able to fit two 8 ampere-hour batteries. One here and another over here. It also comes with a parallel cutting guide, as well as its user manual and a catalog of Bosch saw blades, which you might want to pair with this or with your other tools. To change the blade, first we take out the battery for safety, of course, and we reach around the back and get this Allen key over here. We have the spindle lock here in the front, and by securing it, we can now loosen this bolt. And there we've taken it out. The bare toolkit comes with a Bosch Expert for Wood 24-tooth 190mm saw blade. Now the Arbor size on this thing is 30mm and it won't accept other sizes. So when purchasing new blades, you have to pay attention to that. Now let's talk about the stuff that doesn't come in the box. So there's batteries for starters. So this is a bare toolkit and it doesn't come with batteries or chargers. You need to have these from a previous tool you've purchased, or you have to buy them separately. Another thing that doesn't come with this unit is the GCY42 Bluetooth connection module, which fits in this rounded thing over here. I spent about an hour fiddling with the tool, fiddling with the app, trying to work out why wasn't it connecting. It turns out the module wasn't there in the first place, so there's your problem. If you need one of those, they aren't available locally, so you're out of luck. You can buy them overseas via Amazon, or you could hook up with Sir, I forgot his name, from the Bosch user group. I got one from him. I think he still has some left over. So if you really need one of the module units, you can reach out to him if you're part of the group. That probably covers all the major specs and features that I consider important in this tool. So we have the really good build quality. In terms of ergonomics, it also scores really high because of that one button depth adjust that I really love. This curved handlebar. A really nice 68mm depth of cut. A cutting angle for bevels from 0 to 50 degrees. Rail compatibility with Makita, Festool, and Bevel. That speed selection, wherein you could fine-tune your RPM based on the material that you're working on. Want to get really good cuts, clean cuts on plywoods and laminates? You could dial it up, and if you're getting burns on tougher hardwood, you could slow it down to get less friction. It has that anti-kickback, anti-overload system built in. Dust extraction is really good. And I think one of the most important things about this tool is the battery system. So this reflects Bosch's philosophy, and I can respect that about them, that they want to maintain intercompatibility between the new tools and old battery packs, and the new battery packs with the old tools. So far, out of all the major manufacturers, I think Bosch is the only one that has stuck to this principle. So it's recommended to run these on the newer Pro Core batteries, but this thing will happily run on a really old 2 ampere hour battery. I mean, you probably will not get that 1800 watt power rating with this tiny battery, but there's something to be said about experiencing a new generation of tools using the latest technology while not having to spend more on a new battery platform. And vice versa, you can experience the benefits of the newer batteries without buying new tools. So for me, that's a really important thing in my book. So far, all of I said are positives about this tool. Well deserved, if I may add. And personally, it's very hard for me to find negatives about this saw. If I were to nitpick, I don't know, maybe the blade arbor size is a bit more uncommon, but I checked online and there's still a pretty good selection about it. There's the slight bit of play if you try to lift the saw while changing the angle. But why would you do that if you already know that you'll get the perfect angle if you set it properly? There is one very large, glaring disadvantage about this saw. And that disadvantage is the price. So, I checked Amazon UK. And this saw retails for around 520 euros. So for those not familiar with that, that translates to around 32,000 pesos. I checked Amazon Germany, which is Bosch's hometown. This was retailing around 300 plus euros. That's roughly around 18,000 pesos. Much cheaper, but it's still quite pricey. Now, here in the Philippines, when the first units released, we didn't get screwed over as bad as the Brits, but it's still quite hefty. The first few units went at 24,000 pesos. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a really good saw. And I think if you need the features it provides, it's worth that price. But that's still a pretty tough pill to swallow. My reasons for purchasing this saw was, number one, I was upgrading and tooling up a workshop. I currently didn't have a cordless circular saw. And I was invested in the Bosch ecosystem with the FSN rails and the 18-volt Procore battery. So those factors made it much easier for me to decide. You have to consider your situational factors, like what is your budget? Are you already on a different battery ecosystem? Those things. Because this saw is quite the investment. It is not for everyone. To summarize, the GKS 18V-68 GC ticks all of the basic boxes. Power, cut capacity, build quality, a good brand. Bosch also managed to throw in excellent secondary features like the adjustable speed control and rail and legacy battery support. The ergonomic features on this thing also do not hurt. They are not really hard requirements, but this curved angle bar and the one button depth adjust, those are really sweet. It makes it hard to look at other saws once you've experienced this. I hope you enjoyed watching this first cut of the Bosch GKS 18V-68 GC. In the end, it is a circular saw, an excellent one, priced at a premium. Expensive? Yes, but you get what you paid for. If you found this content useful, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any questions or want to share some thoughts, please leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching.